My name is Terry Owsley. I'm the co-owner with my wife Lee of Latitudes Fair Trade Store here in Fredericksburg, and then we also have one in Warrenton. Our business didn't start in the traditional business model. We had my wife was a school teacher in Fauquier County, and I worked for Sprint in Reston. And we had some friends in Uganda who were working with some women. It was called Women of Worth, and they were making paper bead jewelry. And they just asked us, hey, do you guys think you could sell some of this? And we said, sure, we'll give it a try. So we bought, I think, $500 worth of it, and then went to church bazaars and craft shows, different venues, and started selling the paper bead jewelry. And then my wife, as part of her job, got a grant to learn Spanish in Guatemala in a language school. So she went to Guatemala and she went to the language school, and while she was there she took a Mayan weaving class. And from that class she thought, well gee, I can sell these women's products with the paper bead jewelry that we have. And so then it just gradually expanded more and more beyond that until we had a pretty wide variety of products. And in one November, about 8 years ago, my wife told me, gee, I think I have enough products to open a store. And so we went in our local town, Warrenton, found a storefront on Main Street. We asked them if we could do just a 3-week pop-up store, because we both had jobs and we knew we couldn't do it full-time. So we, in 1 week, we got our business license, our insurance, we got the keys on a Thursday night, and we opened that next day, that Friday evening. We emptied all our bookcases in our house, threw them in the back of the pickup truck, got a bunch of friends to help us unload the truck, and we set up a store that Thursday night. And then when my wife got off school that Friday, around 4 o'clock, she opened the store. And it was very successful. We got a huge response from the community. And after the Christmas season, people didn't want us to close, and we said, well, the lease is up, we both got to get back to work. But my son was home from college, and he offered to help us man the store. And so we approached the landlord and got another 3-month lease. So we'll try for another 3 months and see how it goes. And so we got some volunteers to help us. We manned the store. My wife would come back after school and close out every day. And it's continued to be successful. So in June of that year, she quit her teaching job. That was the end of her assignment. And but she continued to get paid through September. And so for the first 9 or 10 months of the store being open, we took no money from the store, just were able to reinvest money back into our inventory, because we had a really tiny inventory when we opened. It was embarrassing. We only had about 1/4 of the store occupied. The rest of it we lined with my parents' artwork. And so by that following Christmas, after 1 year, we did have a full store, and we were ready to, to be completely grown up about it and have a valid operating store. And that was 7.5, almost 8 years ago. And then about 3 years ago, I got an opportunity to get an early out from my corporate job, and I volunteered, and they finally accepted, and that allowed us to open this store in Fredericksburg. So we opened that store a little more than 2.5 years ago, and it's been very successful also. So that's the story of how we got started. Latitudes. Of course, there's the geographical reference of latitude and longitude, and our products come from all over the world. So Latitude reflects the diversity of products that we have from all over the world. But also Latitude has another meaning to give freedom. Like if you give somebody latitude to do something, you give them the freedom to do that. And our products provide the artisans who make them the freedom to financially support themselves and to work their way up out of poverty and to send their kids to school. Often they're able to buy land and build a house, and these are things that would be impossible without fair trade. We follow fair trade principles, which basically means that the artisans are paid a fair wage, have safe working conditions, and are not trapped in a cycle of poverty. Well, as you get older, you want your life to count for something. You want to have some meaning, some value, kind of to pay it forward or to give back to the world, to have a lasting impact. And this is our way of helping the world. Every year we take at least 1 or 2 trips somewhere in the world, anywhere in the world, where we buy products from. We visit the artisan groups who make the products. And this gives us an opportunity to establish a relationship with the artisans and to see for ourselves personally whether fair trade is really doing what it's supposed to be doing. That people are really seeing a dramatic improvement in their financial and their health, and are able to work their way up out of poverty. We've gone in little huts built out of cardboard and corrugated metal, and we've had dirt floors, and people will tell us, we started with nothing and now look at all we have. And of course to us, what they have is embarrassingly little, but to them it's a huge amount. And so one of the things you'll see with fair trade and our pictures of artisan groups is that they're smiling and they're happy because they have dignity. It's not like they're getting a handout. They're really getting the opportunity to work their way up out of poverty with their own dignity and self-respect intact. The common denominator is everything is fair trade. We have hats made from palm leaves from Mexico. We have clothing from India, Nepal, Ghana. We have home goods, wood carvings, candles, coffee, chocolate. Our best seller is our jewelry, earrings, necklaces, headbands, journals, leather journals that are hand carved in India. We cover a wide variety, and probably the hallmark of the types of products in our store are that it's a unique gift that you probably won't be able to find anywhere else, because everything is handmade. So it's not mass produced. So you'll find things, there's a little bit of variation between the same product because 2 different people made them, and each thing has its own individual characteristics. So it's a unique gift store where you can find a gift for the person who has everything. I think community, it could be a number of things. It could be geographical. You have people who live in the same area, and so they share a common residence, such as Fredericksburg. There's a community there. But then you can also have communities based around ideas or work. So to me, community is relationships. And for us, our community, obviously we have a store community of our customers, but we also have a global community of our artisans. And one of our goals is to connect those two. So that's why we travel, that's why we visit the artisan groups, so that when we come back, we can tell our customers the stories. And so they understand that, this little wooden puzzle box that's in the shape of a cat is all made by one man, and he got that skill from his father, who invented that little cat box. And so that's a community that we're creating between the artisans and the customers, and it helps people connect, and it makes the gift and the products that we sell more meaningful, and people like that.